Only in America.
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 Welcome back to Only in America. I'm Ali Nirani. As we head into the home stretch of an election season and a year that's felt like an eternity, the stakes somehow manage to feel higher every day, a feeling that only intensified with the recent death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. In addition to a legacy of fighting tirelessly for civil rights and liberties, Justice Ginsburg also reminded us of her own family's immigration story and why these stories are inherently American. During her confirmation hearing in 1993, she gave her own answer to Only in America.
I am, as you know from my responses to your questionnaire, a Brooklynite, born and bred, a first-generation American on my father's side, barely second generation on my mother's. Neither of my parents had the means to attend college, but both taught me to love learning, to care about people, and to work hard for whatever I wanted or believed in. Their parents had the foresight to leave the old country when Jewish ancestry and faith meant exposure to pogroms and denigration of one's human worth. What has become of me could happen only in America. Like so many others, I owe so much to the entry this nation afforded to people yearning to breathe free.
Justice Ginsburg's comments remind us how deeply ingrained immigration is in our nation's history and identity, and of course, our politics. It raises questions about who we are as a nation and who we want to be, and crucially, who gets a say in deciding how we answer. So, for our next series on Only in America, we're taking a look at how immigrants and immigration impact the 2020 election. All too often, people view immigrant voters as a monolith, and people treat immigration as a binary, black and white issue for voters. But how do these topics really play out in our communities and in the voting booth? We'll start out with an in-depth look at refugee voters and what 2020 means for these communities.
What we've heard is more about the lack of information about the voting process or the voter registration process that sometimes is even complex for American-born people when you look at somebody who is not familiar with the voting system here. So being able to guide them towards how and where, I think that's one of the questions. And also, even though we have people that naturalize, become citizen, they've never voted before. Like they've never voted even in their home country, or they've lost trust in the voting system from where they come from. So how do they get that trust back or confidence back in the system? For them to understand that the right to vote that they enjoy today is not something that, came cheap. People paid the price, people fought for these rights. And then also sharing how the system works here so that they can see that how does voting affect every one of the benefits of citizenship and our lives. So being able to demonstrate how voting affects their lives, who they vote for, make decisions that affect their lives, and how that can affect how they even bring their families to reunite with their loved ones that they've been separated from when they sought refuge. And also being able to educate them that voting in the US is private, that voting is safe, and it's one way that we can use to hold our leaders accountable. And it allows us to disagree as well with our policymakers on different issues. So I think being able to demonstrate that voting here is one of the power that we, the regular folks, have to hold our leaders accountable to make sure that our voices are heard.
We'll talk to advocates about how the election conversation is playing out in Latinx and AAPI communities, and we'll hear from religious voters about how their faith informs their vote, particularly when it comes to a candidate's stance on refugees and immigrants. We'll also hear the stories of immigrants voting in their first U.S. election, and immigrants who wanted to vote but can't. The relationship between immigration and electoral politics is a two-way conversation, and like everything else immigration, it's a complicated one. Make sure you're subscribed to Only in America on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts to catch new episodes each week. You can learn more at our website, immigrationforum.org/podcast. And now, in lieu of a full episode, stick around for a preview of another great podcast, A Better Life from Feet in Two Worlds, winner of multiple awards for journalism about and by immigrants. This segment is from one of their Call Your Elders conversations, intimate talks with immigrant elders whose experience and wisdom can inspire us during the pandemic. In this installment, Monique and Eric recall their journey from Haiti to Florida in the late 1960s in a conversation with their daughter in New Jersey. To hear the full conversation as well as more episodes like this, you can find A Better Life wherever you get your podcasts.
Assalamualaikum, Zaid Mom here. Hope you're doing well. You and Claire are doing well. Just nothing important. Just wanted to find out how things are with you. Take care and let me know if you need anything, okay? All right, Khudafis.
That's my mom. She's everything to me. We talk all the time. I'm kind of a mama's boy. And lately, I've been asking her a question I suspect many of you are asking the elders in your lives. How are you doing? I'm fine, she always says. But then I press on, because I want more details, to know that she is safe, that she is well. How are you really doing? I ask her. I'm Zahir Jan Mohammed, and this is Call Your Elders, a special segment from A Better Life, a podcast from Feet in Two Worlds. In this series, we're speaking to immigrant elders about what challenges they've faced in the past, what brings them joy in this moment, and what advice they have for the rest of us. There's a stat from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control that always makes me pause. 80% of the deaths from COVID-19 in the U.S. have been people 65 and older. Many of the people I love, including my parents, are in this age bracket. And if you're the child of immigrants, as I am, your mother or father or grandparent might be the last living connection you have to a place that was once home for generations of your family. For me, it's Tanzania, where my parents were born and raised. Florence Barrow Adams is a radio producer who lives in New Jersey. She recently spoke to her mom and dad. They immigrated to the United States from Haiti in 1968 and now live in Florida.
My parents, Monique and Eric Barrow, have been in self-isolation since March, rarely leaving home. Our family has kept in touch with regular Zoom sessions, and my sisters and I and other family members have supported them with home deliveries. I had a chance to hang out with them over the internet one Sunday evening to catch up. My niece Kristen, who lives with my parents, recorded their end of the conversation. Hi, can you start by telling everyone your name and how old you are?
How many years can we hide? Do I have to say the truth?
Whatever you want to say, Dad.
My name is Eric Barrow. I'm the father of three beautiful ladies, and our family is made of 18 members nowadays. We have a big picture in the living room. We keep on looking at them and counting. And
My wife's name
is Monique Barrow. She just reminded me. I thought she was going to say it herself. So anyway, I am 82 years of age.
How about you, Mom?
I am 79 years old.
That's right.
And her name is Monique, by the way. Just say you call your name.
So how have you liked or disliked having the family taking care of you now that you're home?
We
You can be honest.
No, well, let me say that you, Florence, our daughter that lives in New Jersey,
Yep, that's me.
has been very, very attentive to our problems.
Our needs.
She made a list, ordered stuff, and had it delivered here. And in addition, the things that we have to renew locally on a regular basis, we're taking care of the Kristen, our granddaughter,
And Jessica.
and also
Our
Monique's niece does the same too. She buys, and when they come, she parks her car in the street, drop the bag, and say, "Bye, I can't come in."
I know that we've talked about, as a family, about the importance of you all getting some exercise and really taking care of yourself. Can you tell us what your routine is, what you have figured out to do in the house?
Yeah. What we do is in the morning, we try to walk from the front door to
The
around.
living room, the dining room.
And I can have 9 laps or more in 5 minutes. And I keep on going, and your dad also.
Don't forget, you asked me to put the music
And
on.
he
for you.
go.
She wants
No,
me
he
to put the
doesn't-
music because she dances.
He does not volunteer the music. He's always,
Dad, you don't like to have the music on?
he is. I don't want to say it.
What is it?
Say what? Go ahead, say it, Mom. Go for it. Say it.
He
say
does
it.
not volunteer things like that, He just go and making sure that he pass me,
Wait, you're telling me as you're walking around the living room, Dad feels the need to pass you to go faster?
Several times. When we do the exercise, she is watching the time. I say, the time is good for you, but the number of time you go around, it makes a difference. If I can make 3 turns when she does one, if she does 15 minutes, in 5 minutes, I accomplish more than she does.
I call that a little exaggeration.
Well,
If I said, okay, I'm going to walk for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, after 5 minutes, he's done.
because I have covered what she covers in 20 minutes.
Don't worry, because I don't care. I do what I have to do, and
Right. How does this moment compare to other difficult times in your life? You left Haiti, you came to the States, you had to reestablish from scratch, like you had to start from nothing. How would you say this time, this situation is compared to the things that you went through earlier in your life?
So you're talking about
when we
by the time we
Yeah.
came to the States from our country?
Yeah.
We are more at home here than we were in our country.
we were young.
Our life is like 3 parts. Our adolescence, we went to school, we graduated, and then we left Haiti. And we came to live in New York, New Jersey area.
So that's part 2?
That's part 2. And then
We
from
raised
there,
the kids.
we spent 20 years in that New York, New Jersey area. And then we moved to Florida, and we've been here 32 years. So more time in the States than we did in Haiti. But the life, for some reason, took us from living Haiti in the middle of a dictature where people were burning, people were killing people in the street, literally. We came in this country, and it was the 60s, the late 60s, when Martin Luther King was killed, Robert Kennedy was killed, and there was riots and everything. And then when we packed up, we came to Florida, we had other problems, and now we have this experimentation. That's basically life. As a matter of fact, 9/11, we were in Florida. This is the Florida event of our experiment with big problem. We didn't know will life become normal again, the same as we do today. But I'm sure there's a solution to every problem because we have a system in this country that is more regimented than the individual. So in Haiti, you had a problem, you could not solve it. Over here, it will get solved because we are in America. Life is not simple. We have to live challenges, we go through them.
And we learn to take one day at a time. And that helped a lot. Because I always said every problem has their solution. And the solution is tomorrow. And with that philosophy, I really do not suffer much from anything because I just let go.
Well, thank you very much.
But that was a pleasure having you.
Awesome.